Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead Podcast. We are the Two Chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Aaron, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone. I figured we needed an update on the rabbits.
Yep, this is episode 37.
So, figure 37, we needed an update, rabbits, so we'll jump to it. We've gotten a few emails and questions in some of the Telegram groups, so we'll kind of do our best to answer them. And we've gotten a few emails from people just starting to get rabbits.
Yeah, we've got an episode way in the beginning that we talked about our rabbits.
Yep, that one, Somebody Loves Rabbits. I think that's 3 or 4, somewhere around there.
We went through all the food, which is still pretty much the same, and
yeah, I think we changed
water system, and
we might have changed the food.
Maybe we did change food, but it's still, we found the 18%.
Right. So, yeah, because that was our biggest thing, is I wanted that 18% protein.
Yeah.
So and they seem to like it.
Yeah, we found that at our local farm and fleet.
Right.
So that's where we get it from now.
Yeah, it's Nutrina. It's more of a show rabbit feed.
I don't think it's Nutrina, is it?
I thought it was.
I don't remember.
Oh, we'll get a link to it. I think what I've been buying has been Nutrina. But we have a whole podcast with Amy from A Farmish Kind of Life.
Yeah.
Of our setup, and then we also have one from Melissa K. Norris, where we talk about a lot of our recipes.
Homesteading Today?
I think so. I'll get the link.
Yep.
We'll drop all the links for the episodes in the show notes, so you guys can go off and listen to those and let us know what you think. So we had a lot of fun doing those interviews.
Yeah, Amy's was more on having meat rabbits.
Right.
And Melissa's was more on cooking with rabbit.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I think that whole episode with Amy is pre us doing this podcast.
It was. That was like the, okay, maybe we can do this type thing.
Right. So that was a pre-podcast episode.
Yeah.
So I'll get everything in the show notes for you guys. So current how we have a setup. So we have a 16, or it's like a 10 by 16, 12 by 16 shed. We have 2 rows of cages in there, and we have the bottom row is sitting on a stand, and that has 5 rabbits along the bottom. Well, cages for 5 rabbits along the bottom, and then we have a set hanging above it. So when we first jumped into this, we had a trio of rabbits, so 1 buck and 2 does. So as of yesterday morning, Saturday morning, we now have 2 bucks and 4 does. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 trios. And we have a very cute and cuddly brand new bunny. Mm-hmm. He is 8 weeks old. And his name is...
Cotton Candy.
Why is it Cotton Candy?
Well, that's what they named him.
Exactly.
Because he was so sweet.
And he is.
Yeah.
He is super snuggly. You can take him out of the cage, and he's definitely more on the pet end mentality, where pretty much a lot of the stuff that we have are not really pets, so to speak.
Yeah, I think especially with the rabbits, they are all friendly.
Yes.
Like Coco, one of the original does, has always been very skittish, antisocial, and that's just been her personality. But she's not mean. None of them are mean. Most of them the girls will open them up and be able to pet them, give them treats. One of the rabbits comes up to the oldest one and, always says hi.
Right.
Thor, the original buck, he's a puddle of mush. Yeah. We'll just let you pet him and snuggle his ears, but none of them, we don't take them out and cuddle them.
Right. And a lot of the reason was we had them outside.
Yes, so if they were to fall or jump out of your arms...
They're gone.
They were gone.
Yeah. So one of the theories of moving them into the shed is we're planning on handling them a little bit more often and getting on top of the husbandry and taking care of some of that stuff. I know I've kind of laxed on a few things, like clipping toenails and stuff like that. It's you learn. I mean, these guys they've done really well with what we've handed them. They've handled the outside elements quite nice. We're in Illinois, Zone 5B, and we get driving snow and driving rain and ice and all this nasty weather, and they're pretty content being outside because they're covered.
Yeah.
You know, the old hutch that we have outside, which is still going to be there, had a 3-foot overhang on it, so they're always shaded, and they never were rained on. They might have got a little bit of snow on them once or twice with the real bad snowstorms that we got.
Yeah, but they were the cages were deep enough that they could go back in the corner.
Right, and we always gave them the nest box and stuff. So, but we figure with this new setup, we're going to bring them inside, be able to take them out. We got the door, the gaps on the door all handled. We got a way to lock the door from the inside so we can start taking them out.
Yep, we did have a small issue where we discovered some places we need to fix.
Yes, and those have been fixed.
Well, not all of them. I mean...
Yeah, I fixed the main cages that everybody's in, except for Thor's. So I gotta get up and fix Thor's. His is still zip tied shut.
So you went out one night.
Yes, at 10:15, which is about when I normally go out.
We were going to bed early this night.
Yes. So 10:15 is early for us. Okay, we've got everything done. It's the day before the youngest's birthday.
Yeah.
We're going to go to sleep and we're going to, hit the day running.
Yeah.
So Thursday night, I go out there about 10:15 and I'm walking through the cages and I'm like, where's Cookie? I don't see her back there. And of course, part of me goes, okay, this door has been wide open. Did something get in here and get her?
Like the door to the shed.
The door to the shed was wide open. Do we have a problem with a raccoon, or do we have...
We had a lady here from...
Julie.
Julie. I'm not sure if that's a nationwide thing.
It's the company that you call and comes out and marks your property.
Yeah, they'll locate pipes and stuff.
We're doing some work on the side of the house. More on that later.
But I immediately thought, did she take a rabbit? But why would she only take Cookie?
Right. It's not the first one in. Granted, she might be the better temper of the ones that are in there, but she's not the cutest.
So you texted me, and I come in, and it's like, her cage is empty. The door, all of the doors to the cages are closed. She, like a magician came in and made her disappear.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we're standing there going, what do we do? And all of a sudden you hear scratching, and shuffling.
Yes.
It's like, okay, she's got to be in here somewhere.
It's either that or it's the
raccoon that just ate her.
Right. Or it's the squirrels that have been living in there, or something. It's like,
or the mountain lion that came in.
Right. So the best we come up with is she got out. The top of the cages are hinged, and I took off the clasps on the top that hold the top shut, thinking that the tubs that we have sitting on top, the large concrete mixing trays, would keep the door closed. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently it didn't.
I mean, darn it, we should have had a camera in there.
Oh, I know.
Because she had to have just jumped up and just made the door come open.
Yeah,
I can't even... That would be, just to see that in video, would be like, oh my God.
Yeah. So... we locate her. You and I spend probably a good half hour chasing her back and forth in the shed.
Because the other side, we have shelving with all of our crap that belongs in a shed there with other stuff in front of the shelving. Yes,
so because we haven't found room for everything yet.
Because we're a little disorganized, and that's just real life.
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, we kept shooting her back and forth. You get her. I can't. You get her. I can't.
Yeah, and she would come out. So we have these corner trays that have all of our gardening tools in it, our gardening implements, like shovels and hose and the hand weeders and stuff like that. And I keep seeing her run in and out through these. It's got all the fishing poles hanging off of it. It's like I can't get my hands in there because I'm gonna cut myself if I go pull her out of there. So. I finally get this brilliant idea. We have this fishing net, and we've had this fishing net for
A couple of years now.
yeah. And I'm like, all right, so I go out and get it. This is what we use to catch chickens that get loose. This is what we use to catch
Yeah,
fish
we
out
only
of the pond.
recently just use it to catch a fish.
Yes, yes.
So far, it's been chickens.
Yeah, it's been chickens, and now it's a rabbit. So I come in there with the net, and I'm holding the net like along the bottom or the bottom of one of the shelves, and I see her come running out underneath it, and I drop the net right on her, and I get her, and I'm able to haul her out and get her. Didn't hurt her or anything, no blood, no nothing.
She's fine.
She's content. I mean, she wasn't content about being caught by a net, but
but we can't just leave her, you know. She
right.
had to get back.
So that's what caused us to fix the gaps at the bottom of the door.
Yeah.
The door now has latches on it to hold them closed, and the latches went back on the cages.
Yeah, the tops.
The tops. Thor's is still zip tied shut. I got to fix that.
Yeah.
Because the boys are going to have their cages their cages need to be easily accessible because you're going to bring the doe to the buck.
Yeah.
You don't bring the buck to the doe. You don't put them in separate cages for breeding. It's just easier that way because the buck is in his own cage. He's in his element. And when you bring the doe to him, he's not chasing around the doe's cage, sniffing around. And, you know, she's doing that and he's chasing her.
Yeah.
It's quite funny to watch, honestly. And also, you run the risk of, if you bring the doe or the buck to the doe, you have the risk of the doe castrating the buck because the buck is entering the doe's home.
Yeah.
So there is that thought process behind it. We do have a circulating water system in there. Now, I upgraded the system to an extent. Each has one nipple in the cage. It's one water nipple where it's just like a little 5/16 barb rabbit nipple. And then the pump running it is a 550-gallon Aqua something or other. I'll put the Amazon affiliate link in the comments. This is one that Jack from the Survival Podcast has been using for years. And we upgraded from a 250 to a 550, just so I get a little bit more pressure when we go, shut the T off at the end of it. So the way it works out, we have an 18-gallon tub of water, and it pumps out along the bottom set of cages, and then comes up to the top set, and then you have one hose going up to each one of the cage, unlike a brass T. And then at the end of the upper cages, it drops back down into the tank. And at the end of that tank, I have a little 5/16 T valve on it, like a shut-off ball valve, and I pretty much close it all the way, but I let it come out. So there's still continually running water, and it's not just stationary in the tubes. So when we get a light freeze, we don't have a problem with the lines freezing up. And this seems to work pretty good. Like, it's gone down to 20 degrees outside, and I usually don't have a problem with it. But once it gets lower than that, it'll start really freezing up, and then we got to switch over to bowls or Tupperware for them. I usually give them like a 1.5 liter flat rectangle Tupperware, and we do water twice a day, 3 times a day.
Just go out and crack it out and then refill it.
Right, and sometimes we'll just crack it and leave it in the cage and let them gnaw on the ice if it's cold enough.
Or it's just the top is frozen and the underneath is...
Right. But yeah, that whole system works out pretty good. We do have a stock tank heater in it, so we'll see how that works this year.
Yeah, so we'll see this year with it being inside if we even have to switch out at all.
Right. Yeah, it is 8 degrees warmer currently inside the shed than it is outside air temperature. So I'm kind of hoping that they will create some of their own body heat in the winter.
Yeah.
And that'll keep that shed a little bit warmer. And then in the summer, when we open up all the windows and the doors, that will help that breeze coming through. Because the predominant breeze that we get in the area comes from the west. And the windows are on the west side and the doors on the east side. So worst case, we put some fans in there and we get that breeze coming through.
Yeah.
That should work out really good for them. And now they don't get rained on. There's no hail coming down. They don't get covered in snow. It's, they should do really good in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have the ability to run an extension cord real close to the house. If we, for some reason, lose power, we can still get their water system up and running, or, something.
Mm-hmm.
I have the inverter down here in the basement. Worst case scenario if we have to. But we could just switch over to bowls and be done with it for however long we need that to be.
Yeah.
So, the plans are, so now that we have them settled, they've been in there for what, about 2 weeks? 1 week?
A week or so?
Yeah, a week, I think, is when we stuffed them in there. So we got everybody switched over. I unfortunately did injure Thor's foot. We were able to get that handled. He broke a nail, either getting caught in the old cage when I was trying to get him out, because he's never really been picked up.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, he's every bit of a 15-pound rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not a Flemish giant. He is a California, New Zealand, and he is a ball of meat. Mm-hmm. He is solid as a brick.
Yeah.
And he is very hard to pick up. He's very
strong.
Yes, he's strong, he's ornery, but when you're petting him, he's awesome.
Oh, yeah. He comes right up, closes his eyes, you pet his head and his ears.
Right, yeah. He's a ball of fluff when you're petting him, but he's a bit of an ass when you go to pick him up. So, we are going to work on that. It's amazing to see the difference between the two. The one you can pick up and the one you can't really pick up.
It's just all what they're used to.
Right. And that's partially us. Honestly.
But like you said, being outside in the yard, we're not just going to pick them up and hold them. In case something happens, they jump out of our arms.
Right.
How do you get them back?
Right, and they become wild rabbits.
Right.
Or the coyotes get them.
Yeah,
or
because
the
they don't
raccoons
know how to live. Yeah.
Right. I know people have let them loose and they've done fine, but I'm not going to do that to these guys.
It's just for the safety of...
Yeah. And we don't have room for a colony. If we had room for a colony set up, I would probably go that route.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be kind of cool, just have a area where they can't dig out of with, trench in some wire, and you have like a half-acre little setup for them, and they just do their own thing, and you get random bunnies that show up one day throughout the year.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no, organization, but it's more natural, I guess, for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it'd be kind of like, how old are these ones?
Yeah. So it'd be an easy way to get a lot of rabbits in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, it might almost be a little overwhelming.
So that would definitely be a case of keeping meat on the hoof.
Yeah.
Instead of in the freezer.
Yeah.
So, that ideally long term, if you didn't have if you were looking to do this off grid and you had limited freezer space, that'd be the way to go.
The best way to keep an animal is
keep it on the
alive.
hoof. Yeah. Keep it on the hoof, moving around, and you want rabbit one day, you go out and you get the rabbit.
Yeah.
It's like Grandma used to do, go out and grab the chicken in the morning and throw it in the crock pot and you'd have chicken in.
Well, I don't think they used crock pots back in the day.
Okay, the stew pot.
Yeah.
But either way. But yeah, with them being in the shed, next week we're going to start breeding. We're going to probably start with Coco and the new doe that we got, Mary Hoppins. She is of age. Thinking after about, once they pop and deliver, then we will do Cookie and Luna and see what we get. So Luna I'm a little concerned with because I think she is more of a miniature sized rabbit.
Yeah.
She's not full size. Like, she is not anywhere near the Californians that we have. And that was my mistake. I think she's an English spot and not a Californian.
Yeah,
So,
but the place we got it said she was, and it's hard to tell when they're little.
right. You take the breeder's word for it, and sometimes it can be wrong. Sometimes it's spot on. Cotton Candy is going to be really interesting to see what he turns out to be. We talked to the person we got him from, Heather. Thank you for that. She's in our network. She drove up here approximately about 2 hours. We met her about an hour away. So she's from Southern Illinois. We got him, and he is 15/16 Rex and a 16th Dutch, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think that's what she said. But he's like a 16th Dutch, and the rest is Rex.
Yeah.
So.
But he's white with tan spots and gray on his ears.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a tricolor. He's not really a fawn.
Yeah.
It'd be super cool to see what he does for kits.
Well, Luna, moon hair, is white with black spots.
Yeah. I'm fairly certain she's an English spot.
Yeah.
Which that's their standard colors.
But even Mary Hoppins, she's kind of a tan.
Yeah.
So with her and Cotton Candy, it'd be kind of interesting to see what came of that.
Yeah, if we gotta get some Harlequins
or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So Harlequins are kind of like they're really hard to explain. They're like a tan, gray, almost marbly looking rabbit. They're not. Their colors all blend together. I've always kind of wanted one. I think they look cool.
Yeah.
I still think the best color we got was the one from Thor and Carrot Cake. Was the gold tipped tricolor.
That was neat.
Pretty pelt, and we saved that pelt.
I think so.
Yeah, I know it's in there because we saved everything off that litter.
Oh, okay.
That was one we got a couple of blues. We got that gold tipped.
That's one thing that was on the list for this summer that just we didn't get to it. Was tanning the pelts. It's just it's one of those things that is just a little overwhelming.
Right.
Right
I
now.
mean, we got the feet figured out.
Yeah.
So we'll throw a plug for that. Etsy store might have a couple of feet left.
Oh yeah, we do.
So please buy them so we can get rid of them, make the girls happy. We will ship them wherever.
Yeah, the girls worked very hard on that.
Yep. And that was a fun project.
Yeah.
So those are legit rabbit feet. Those are our rabbits. Don't worry. We don't have rabbits floating around the homestead missing feet.
Yes. We just wanted to use more of what we were already using.
Yes. So.
We don't have rabbits donating their paws.
Right.
To make rabbit feet.
Yes, they donate their meat and we use the paws.
Yep. They don't eat them anymore.
Exactly. So.
But yeah, we've got front feet, which are smaller.
Yep.
And then the regular back feet.
Yeah, the normal back feet.
The front feet are kind of nice because it's not so much of a big foot.
Yeah, they're still cool though. I got to get mine that the girls made for me in the car or something.
And we did that, and now we're gonna try deer.
I know. So our neighbor was nice enough. He got another doe, pretty decent size. Had to go chase it down, the next morning, and it was a little stinky when he went to go process it. But we're going to try using the hooves and make some coat hangers.
Or something.
Something.
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
Right.
But it's the same process as doing the rabbit feet, so.
Right.
We'll see.
So they're in the freezer. We'll see what
they're
happens.
in the freezer just waiting for me to go, okay, today's the day.
Yep. So we'll have to trim them down a little bit so we can get them in a half-gallon mason jar.
Yeah.
But that'd be kind of fun. Maybe we can do it the same time we do the next set of rabbit feet.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pack some rabbit feet in there with it.
Yeah, so it's not just that's probably a good idea.
So
do it all at the same time.
Right. That's just kind of my thought process. I mean, we're 4 months away from doing that, but
yeah. But that'll give me time to really figure out what I'm doing.
Right. So yeah, if we breed next week, then 4 months from next week we will be processing rabbits, within a week or two.
Which is good, because right now we don't have any space.
No. I don't know how that happened. Apparently we have no freezer space.
Yeah.
Like, none. So we need to get our freeze dryer back.
Yeah.
It is in Utah at Harvest Right,
Yep.
so hopefully it's being fixed.
Yeah, right now I've got some frozen vegetables in the dehydrator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden we did the chickens.
Mm-hmm.
You got a deer right away, which you can't count on.
Right,
so it's
absolutely. I got them, and that deer meat's not even in there.
No, that's not even in the freezer yet. And we have a hog that we're doing next month.
Yes.
I mean, we're not complaining.
No.
Just stressing out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to go to waste. We don't want to say no to it, because it's like, it's nice knowing it's there.
Right. It's hard work, and it's a reward when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of fun. I mean, that's my favorite time of the year is when we get that hog, and it's you and me out in the garage working
with
at
the
it.
kids.
Yeah. I mean, I would bet the kids are going to help this year.
Yeah. Yeah, because every time we do something, they help more.
Right. And I would assume our friend from the club will come over and help too.
Yeah.
Send them home with some steaks or some pork chops and a little bit of ground, and thanks for your help.
Yeah. I know my parents are interested too.
Yeah. Like, they're always welcome to come over and help as well.
Yeah, because that's the kind of nice thing is we have enough that we can go, come on over, try it, do something, and yes, take it home.
Yeah.
Where it's not like, oh my gosh, if we don't keep this all, we're going to starve.
Right. And we're not going to... So, I mean, really when we look at it, we're spending like $1 a pound for this hog.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about sending somebody home with a quarter of a loin of, really good pork chops.
Yeah.
5 or 6 pounds of meat for a couple hours work.
Yeah.
Or some ground, and maybe even a slab of bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lord knows we have a lot of bacon in there.
Yes.
So that's our next. We got to do that. Do the pork belly bites again.
Yes, that was delicious.
Right. So, yeah, we've gone off a little bit of a tangent from the rabbits. This was going to be the rabbits.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all the same.
Right. I mean, this has been pretty busy. It's slowing down. It's nice to finally put the garden to bed.
Yeah. It's always fun to do the garden.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to go, okay, it's done.
Yep.
Now I can just focus on everything that is right here.
Right. So, Aaron and I took a little bit of video running around. We're going to start editing videos and throwing up what we did this week on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Just a video.
Kind of like an homage to John Willis doing his Day on the Compound.
Yeah.
Just, here's a week,
Yep.
the week in review or whatever.
Right.
It's gonna be small. Just work up to doing different things.
Right, absolutely. And you'd be able to go listen to the podcast and then go watch the video on YouTube and go, oh, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Now I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So at the garden, we tarped it this year early.
Yeah. Well, we didn't last year because
Yeah.
we had what.
Yes, we had the human malware virus
Yes.
last year. So now it's October.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't snowed yet, and the garden is tarped.
Yeah, and I know the first year we tarped the garden,
Mm-hmm.
it was fine all summer.
Yeah.
Last year we didn't tarp the garden. The weeds out there are like insane.
Yeah.
So it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. It was a shit show this year.
It was. I mean, we grew prairie grass, I think, out there with the pumpkins. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. So
looking out there going, is that a weed or a plant?
Yeah. Or is that grass coming up? So, yeah, we got 10 feet wide by 60 feet long worth of tarps outside.
Yeah.
We got the comfrey all closed up.
With compost under it. We cover the gardens with compost.
Yes.
All the chicken compost that we have, from a year ago with rabbit manure. And we tarp it over that.
And now, do we need to get the coop cleaned out one more time?
I do, but I wouldn't put... I guess I could have, but it's too late.
Well, no, I'm saying get that out for next year. Do a coop clean out.
Yeah.
And get that over in the compost pile.
Yes, I will do a coop clean out now and
Okay.
get it over in the compost pile so it's all nice and fresh for the winter, and then that's pretty much it for the winter.
Yeah.
We do the deep litter method and just kind of let it
build up as we go.
Yeah.
And then with the rabbits, it's going to be get those guys cleaned out once a week, maybe earlier, see how it goes. I'm seeing a few small issues with my plan.
Now, did you say you just recently did the 550 gallon pump?
Yes.
So is that maybe what's making so much water come out into the bins?
No, I think it's about the same pressure, but it's not pushing the pump as hard.
Okay. Because we have a couple rabbits who just... You don't notice it when it's overground.
Right.
How much water is spilling, but now it's like you look down and the floor was all wet.
Right.
So now we have bins to catch the excess water that I'm assuming if it's clean, we could still just...
Yeah, but they drop their food in there.
Yeah, that's true. They use it to water the plants or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So instead of rotting out the deck in the shed, we put down tarps and we have these buckets to catch all the water, buckets to catch pee and manure and stuff like that. So it's going to take a little bit of trial and error.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident how we're doing now. I've been kind of paying attention to how the rabbits are peeing and pooping in there, so move buckets around as needed. Yeah, it's going to get a little bit on the floor, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So as long as we catch the vast majority of it, and then when it gets cold, it's going to freeze, and we'll chip it out.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we got the garden's all done.
Yep.
We took a wander over to the cemetery that's in town, which is, I think, the oldest grave we found in there might have been the 1860s.
Yeah, I think so.
1867.
So when we walk to the back of our property, we look over a farm field, and there's like a tuft of evergreens.
It's an oasis.
And and so that's where the cemetery is. So for the past 5 years, we've been looking at this going, we really need to get over there. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, today's the day. Let's go see. Well, actually, I was inspired by the Lots Project's new TikTok profile where he goes around and videos different gravestones that they find on their RV travels.
Oh,
so I was like, well, let's go look.
Yep. So we got a new camera, Prime Days. It's not a top of the line GoPro because we're gonna try this stuff out, have a little bit of fun, learn how to do this stuff. It's jump in and learn it.
Yeah.
So we got a little action camera. It is waterproof, so there may be one time or two we may throw it in the pond.
Yeah. I mean, maybe while it's under warranty.
Yeah.
And when we have nothing else on the memory.
We'll throw it in there when we're fishing next time, or maybe Ashlyn was asking if we could go ice fishing. That would be kind of cool.
I would really like to. We need to tell the neighbor to let us know so that we can walk on over when he's doing it. Because I think the last time we saw him, it was like, shoot, we got stuff to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of years ago, she went out and
Mm-hmm.
helped him fish.
Yeah, and I think she caught one.
Yeah, they make like a little tent and stuff, and it's so wild that they had like heat on the ice. That just doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah, he's got to. I was talking to him. He's got to put the bubbler in. You think that's why he lost a couple of fish last year?
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
He's gonna get the bubbler in if it's not already in now. I haven't been over there lately.
Yeah,
but we'll see what he gets.
Yeah, and you're doing. Well, you started last week doing the Friday night live stream for the ham radio, and then this Friday was the littlest birthday, so it didn't happen.
Right.
So now I get back into it.
It worked out good for today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, today was a little bit of a running around like crazy, so I put a new antenna up today. It's not 100% set. It's not going to be a new thing quite just yet. There still needs to be a few other things. I need to go buy run a coax to get into the house. I need to build a ground radial system for it. But I was able to make a couple contacts on it. It's a Hustler 4-band trapped vertical. It worked out really good. It's a little bit noisier than my end-fed, incoming noise, but it gets out really good. So it'll work with my IC 7610 for diversity receive. I will be able to hear vertical, horizontal, and then maybe use the vertical to get out and the horizontal to listen. Just kind of play with it and see how it goes. Half a ham radio is spending money, playing around, having fun, making contacts. And the nice thing is throwing up a new antenna is not, thousands and thousands of dollars. I think I might have, really under $50 into this antenna, and then I gotta buy coax. I'll get really good coax like Messi and Poloni. They're equivalent to LMR 400, which is real low loss stuff. Because at some point, who knows, maybe I'll put an amplifier on this antenna, because it is rated for 1500 watts, whereas my end-fed's only rated for 500. So Aaron's looking at me like I am crazy.
I have no idea what you just said.
More power.
Oh my god.
So yeah, today was just playing around. It was Support Your Parks weekend. I was able to make contacts with Slovenia. I ran the live video today, so at about a half hour in, you'll hear it's Sierra 5-8 in Norway, and that was a guy in Slovenia. I have made contact to that country before. It's usually Sierra 5-7 Delta X-ray or S57DX, or S51DX is his brother. Those guys are usually on all the time, but this is the first time I'd gotten this call sign. So super cool. It was on 17 meters, roll easy. I threw out my call, got him on the first time, and then played with the vertical a little bit before I did the live stream, and had a lot of fun. It was just kind of an hour of messing around, and took a little bit of video of that and got it set up, got it tuned, and came in here and hooked it up to the radio and made a contact on it. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And I should have had you down here for the live stream, because 10 meters was open and you could have made some contacts.
The kids.
I know. That's the problem. We need to send the kids over to Grandma and Grandpa a little more often.
Well.
Bye, kids. Mommy and Dad, I got to play radio.
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, that's true. So, but yeah. So if you guys catch me, I will try and do it Friday nights. At least get checked into the net, and then we'll scan around the bands and see what else we hear. Maybe chase some parks, or just make some contacts, or even maybe jump on a frequency and call CQ.
Yep.
And if you guys have ham radios in your general class, make some contacts.
Yeah.
So, always looking forward to talking to people. I will admit I do have mic fright, so me calling CQ is always a problem. I get nervous about it. I've only done it a few times. But maybe I'll do that for one. Just sit there and pick a frequency and go.
Yeah.
See what happens. And you guys can all laugh at me. So.
Yeah, and it will be a ham radio live stream, but you're up to talking about anything that we're doing. And
absolutely. You want to come in and ask me a question? Come in and ask me a question. I'll pause the radio or the feed coming in. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm just down here playing on the radio. You guys can come in, listen, and check things out and see what it's about. Ask questions about ham radio, or if you listen to the podcast and you got a question about being on the podcast, ask away. So that's why we're doing them. So we'll try and keep it Friday, give or take about 8:30 at night Central Time. So that's the first time I did it, and that works good for us because that's when we get the girls in bed. We're done with bedtime with them, then come down here and stay up for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Maybe suck down a Monster at 8 o'clock and come down here and play on the radio. Because drinking whiskey, not a good idea if you're playing radio. So, well, what else you got?
That's it.
That's it? All right. Well, I think we'll leave it at that. Jump out of here, and we will hopefully get a YouTube video up this week. Now that we've said it, it's got to be done.
Yeah.
So I got to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of programs. So we're going to figure it out, and we'll have a YouTube video up, and we will link
it. May not be amazing, but it will be there.
It'll be there. It won't be amazing. It'll be there. So at least it'll be our first YouTube video.
Yeah. That's not hijacked from TikTok.
Exactly. So, or a fall off. Because I think is the fall off video on there too?
It might be.
Or maybe that, yeah. I know there's a couple of hidden ones that we haven't posted.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. It probably got taken down for animal endangerment or something.
Yeah. Or animal porn, barnyard porn. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week.
All right. See you on the homestead where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.